Good evening and welcome to Newscope Daily TV, where we go beyond headlines to expose the meaning behind political theater. Tonight, we examine a controversial and highly symbolic gesture that has sparked outrage, disbelief, and ridicule across political circles in Washington and beyond. At the center of this storm, Venezuelan opposition leader María Corina Machado, a Nobel Peace Prize laureate, and former U.S. President Donald Trump, meeting at the White House in what is now being described as one of the most awkward and embarrassing political spectacles in recent USPS history. The moment that shocked observers during her visit to the White House, María Corina Machado stunned observers by handing her 2025 Nobel Peace Prize medal to Donald Trump. Cameras rolled as Trump accepted the medal, smiling broadly and holding it up proudly for photographs. The image was instantly symbolic and deeply controversial. According to some political analysts, this was not a diplomatic gesture nor an act of humility. It was political theater, driven by desperation on one side and ego on the other. Why this move is seen as desperate Machado's gesture comes at a time when her political influence inside Venezuela has sharply declined. Despite her international recognition, she remains sidelined as Venezuela continues under the control of the political system shaped by Nicolás Maduro and now consolidated around Delcy Rodríguez, Maduro's chosen successor. More strikingly, Donald Trump himself has recently praised Delcy Rodríguez, signaling clearly that Machado is not his preferred political partner in Venezuela. Some political analysts interpret Machado's action as an attempt to regain Trump's attention and favor after he publicly dismissed her political viability. In other words, this was less about honor and more about survival in the international political arena. Trump and the Nobel obsession for Donald Trump, the symbolism carries a different meaning. Trump has long lobbied for the Nobel Peace Prize, repeatedly expressing frustration that he never received it during his presidency by accepting Machado's medal, despite Nobel rules explicitly stating that prizes cannot be transferred, shared, or gifted. Trump gained a powerful visual narrative, but some political analysts emphasize this point clearly: the medal changes nothing. Trump does not become a Nobel laureate. He gains no legal, diplomatic, or historical recognition. Only symbolic bragging rights and a moment for the cameras. The quid pro quo dynamic sources close to the situation describe the exchange as a quiet quid pro quo. Machado hopes the gesture will restore her relevance in Washington. No, Trump accepts the medal as a symbol that feeds his image and ego. Yet politically, neither side gains anything tangible. Machado remains marginalized in Venezuela, and Trump gains no leverage or legitimacy from the Nobel Committee. A historical comparison that backfired attempting to elevate the moment. Machado compared her gesture to a historical episode involving Lafayette, Simón Bolívar, and George Washington, suggesting that symbolic gifts have long shaped revolutionary history. Newscope Daily TV source dismantles this comparison as historically inaccurate and morally absurd. Those figures exchanged symbols within struggles for liberation and shared sacrifice, not as personal political bargaining tools or public relations stunts. The Nobel Committee responds. The Nobel Committee has since reiterated its firm position. Nobel Prizes cannot be transferred. Official records will always list María Corina Machado as the sole laureate. The White House exchange has no institutional value. This clarification only deepens the embarrassment of the episode, raising serious questions about how Nobel symbolism is being used and misused in modern politics. What this episode really reveals, according to some political analysts, this moment exposes three uncomfortable truths. 1. Donald Trump prioritizes optics over principles, valuing the image of prestige more than its legitimacy. 2. María Corina Machado's international recognition has not translated into real political power at home. 3. The Nobel Committee's credibility continues to erode as its prizes increasingly appear detached from meaningful political outcomes. This moment is now being described by critics as the Nobel Prize of embarrassment. In the end, this White House encounter changes nothing politically, but it says everything symbolically. It reflects desperation, ego, and the hollowing out of once powerful international symbols. For many observers, it will be remembered as one of the most embarrassing moments in U.S. presidential history, a moment where prestige was performed, not earned. You've been watching Newscope Daily TV, where symbolism meets truth and power meets accountability. If you value independent journalism and deep political analysis, subscribe, like this video, and share it with your community. Stay informed, Stay critical. This is Newscope Daily TV.